Hey guys, welcome back to the horror. Once again, it is Jenna. Welcome back. I know I just did a video earlier today, my unboxing of a killer box. And I figured I'd go ahead and do another video for you guys. Sorry if it's a little too much, two videos in one day. But you know, I was kind of like, I feel a little productive today. I do. So today's video, I'm going to be discussing my favorite horror Christmas movie. And this actually was a recommendation from Le Corb Monster. So thank you for your recommendation. As soon as he had asked me this. He actually had asked me a couple of days ago, because I was asking, telling people like, hey, give me some recommendations if you want, no worries, whatever. And he actually had asked, or recommended to do a video on my favorite, like I said, my favorite Christmas horror movie. So I was like, all right, I already know exactly what I want to do. And we all know that there's actually quite a few horror-themed Christmas movies. Horror loves to take advantage of all the holidays and everything. So what I decided to pick, and this has actually been a movie that I've loved for quite a few years now, and that movie is Black Christmas. Got the special edition here. Which I actually just received from one of the girls from work a couple months ago. She found it, I think, at like Goodwill for like $2. So she was so nice to pick that up for me. Now, I actually do have another copy of this movie. This one right here, the 25th anniversary. Which this one I've had for, God, like maybe 8 years or so, around there. Now, this one, like I said, is the 25th anniversary special edition, or anniversary edition. Although it doesn't have any, like, special features, really. Special features on here are interactive menus, scene index, cast bios, original theatrical trailer, and digitally remastered. This one, though, that I'd received a few months back, actually has a few extras, which has, let's see, digitally remastered anamorphic video and newly created 5.1 sounds surround stereo audio, 2 original scenes with new vocal soundtrack that were recently uncovered, which I believe, if memory serves, this one actually has those same scenes, from what I remember. So, the 12 Days of Black Christmas, an all-new documentary featuring current interviews with Art Hindle, Doug McGrath, and Lynn Griffin, among others. And I know John Saxton is in that featurette as well. Separate interview segments with Olivia Hussey and Margot Kidder. Midnight screening Q&A session with John Saxon, Bob Clark, and Carl Zittrer, and then also animated menus. I've not checked out all the special features on here, but I have checked out the 12 Days of Christmas one, quite a bit of that one. Really good, very interesting. I know that, I'm assuming it's pretty, at this point, probably much like the little special features and stuff, the interviews and stuff are a little bit older, I think, but whatever, I'm not gonna be stingy. So this movie, like I said, and this actually came out in 1974. These are not the remakes or anything. This is the original Black Christmas. I should probably state that. Obviously, if you couldn't tell by, like, referencing Margot Kidder, John Saxon, and Olivia Hussey. So, like I said, I've owned at least one of those copies for at least 8 years now. Definitely love the movie, and I actually didn't watch this movie until I was like in my 20s, coming up around mid 20s. I had heard about the movie for a while. It was one of those movies I was like, oh, I gotta watch, I gotta watch, I gotta watch. And then I just eventually just bought my copy from Amazon. I think at the time, probably for, I don't know, like 14.99 or whatever at the time. I know now you could probably get it on DVD for like $4. So, and I know this is actually being, I don't think it's released yet, but I believe Scream Factory is about to release it on Blu-ray with some extras, with quite a few extras. I'm assuming Shout Factory, parent company. Hello. Scream Factory is usually really good about loading their Blu-rays with like tons of extras, so it'll be interesting to see those extras on that Blu-ray. I know there's like I think two Blu-ray versions that they are releasing. I'm assuming one is just kind of like a basic release. The other I think is a deluxe version, I believe. But anyway, more about the movie. So this takes place like right around Christmas, obviously, and it's set kind of like in and around a woman's sorority house, basically, and kind of opens up with a kind of like a little party get together going on and everything. And phone rings. Olivia Hussey's character picks it up, and it's this obscene caller, and we come to find out that they've been getting these for a couple of weeks now. And kind of throughout the movie, we see what the calls are like and everything. And in the meantime, whoever is doing the calling is actually also killing the females in the house, kind of one by one. Like the first girl that he gets is like the kind of like the innocent virginal one, so it goes definitely against like the I guess stereotypical rules of who should get killed in these movies. And that scene, that kill is actually pretty infamous, because it usually a lot of times, obviously even on this copy, oftentimes is featured on a cover. She gets the plastic wrap like wrapped around her head. She gets suffocated, and you can't really tell in this one just because it's a little bit more of like a illustrated drawing or a picture, but like the area around her mouth, like the plastic is like kind of like inhaled into her mouth, because you could tell she was trying to like catch her breath. So we see this stuff, and it's not like I know it kind of is considered a slasher, but this is pre like Halloween and everything. This was definitely kind of like part of like the first run of like the slasher stuff. I think I know Texas Chainsaw was released the same year. I think it had to have been released like a little bit before Black Christmas. I'm assuming. And so it's not like if you've never seen this and you're expecting like a typical slasher, you're probably gonna be a little disappointed, because like I said, it's not like a typical slasher or anything. This was just on the cusp of like the beginning era of the slasher movement. Um, like I said, keep in mind this was 4 years before Halloween and everything. Before that really changed the rules of everything. Um, but yeah, this is a really, I love this movie. I really do. Good Christmas movie. And actually, like a month ago, or maybe a few weeks ago, one of the girls at work actually asked me, she's like, "Hey, what's your favorite Christmas movie?" And without missing a beat, I said, "Oh, Black Christmas." I like other Christmas movies, Christmas theme movies, like Scrooge, A Christmas Story, of course. So it's not, I don't always watch horror movies. But this is one of my favorites. Horror and Christmas. I mean, come on. Um, so, and you know what? Come to think of it, I don't even recall a whole lot of blood in this movie. Like for instance, Margot Kidder's character, who I love her character in this because she's such a lush. She's always drinking and everything. Love her character. She's got some good lines. Um, and everyone kind of well, I shouldn't say everyone, but within the tone within the house is that they believe that she had something to do with like the disappearance of the first girl that was killed because she was killed and then she was like dragged up to the attic and everyone's like, oh, she's missing. So everyone kind of, they don't really say it, but everyone kind of thinks that maybe Margot Kidder's character had something to do with her disappearance because the two girls didn't really get along. Like going to some of the lines that she has, like I mean, this line really isn't funny, but just the way that she delivers it at the beginning of the movie, after the crank call, they were saying something about like rape or something, or like one of the girls is like, oh, just gonna, or no, they were talking about how they'd just heard a couple weeks before that another female had gotten like raped or something, and Margot Kidder was like, well, don't worry, she's not gonna get raped because townies don't get raped. Like, just stuff like that. Like I said, it not like funny. Rape isn't funny, but just in like the way she said it, she was drunk and everything. So it cracked me up the way she delivered it. Um, but yeah, like there's not a whole lot of blood in this, and like even with Margot Kidder's death, like she was sleeping or something because she'd been drinking. So the girls are trying to get her to get some rest and stuff, and the killer makes his way up to her room where she's sleeping, and she has like a couple of like these like glass like figurines of animals, and one of them which is a unicorn. So he takes the unicorn and like is like killing her with it, stabbing her with it, and literally I think the only blood for that kill was kind of like what you saw on like the horn, the unicorn horn. So once again, not a very bloody, gory movie, but it's effective. It definitely is effective. Like I said, this is one of the earlier slasher type movies, so it wasn't a whole lot of blood. But like I said, still effective in its kills and everything. Pretty innovative for the time, I feel. Still experimenting a little bit with what they could do killing wise. Um, but so yeah, so we're going through all like this movie. The girls are trying to find this girl. Um, and there's a little bit of like a red herring, I feel, because Olivia Hussey's character, like in the film, um, just we find out that she's actually pregnant with her boyfriend's baby or whatever, and I feel like it's a little bit of a red herring that, okay, maybe he's the one doing this, he's the one calling and everything, even though he had only literally just found out like that day or like the day before or something, and they'd already been getting these phone calls like for a few weeks now, I think. Um, and then, as movie goes on, um, Olivia Hussey's character is pretty much the only like survivor, except for her boyfriend, which he comes to the back to the house or something after like they had an argument or whatever, and it's kind of like, oh, she's like, oh, he's the killer, so she ends up killing him. Um, and we're like, oh, okay, that's the end. They got the killer. But I feel like no, he wasn't the killer. Like I feel like we never really truly know who the killer was. Um, especially too because like I know like the boyfriend wanted her to keep the baby. Um, she, Olivia Hussey's character wanted to have an abortion. But still, I was like, I'm thinking like, if he was the killer, why would he go back to the house to try and kill her? And more importantly, why would he try to kill her housemates? Um, my own little opinion. Some of you might think maybe he really was the killer. Respect that. Um, so yeah, so a kooky little movie. Definitely a little bit more of like I said, because it's considered a slasher movie, but it's not a slasher by like today's like terms or anything. And definitely it is definitely a kind of like a who done it type of thing, like the first Friday the 13th movie, where it's like you don't know who's killing these people. Um, and really, I mean, if you don't think that it's the boyfriend who's the killer, you are kind of left with, well, who is the killer and what was their motive? I think some people might kind of dislike the movie for that aspect, but I kind of like it. It's a little bit of a cliffhanger. You feel like it's almost like like with what we have now, like it's almost like Halloween 1, where you don't really necessarily know the motives of Michael Myers. Like I said, if you only look at Halloween 1, you don't really understand the motives. You don't know the motives or anything like that. And with after he was shot off the balcony, Michael ends up like disappearing or whatever, with leaving the audience with a sense of like boogeyman's still out there. I feel it's kind of like the same sense with Black Christmas. Um, so like I said, my own little thought on that. If you guys think, like I said, if you guys think maybe it was really the boyfriend doing all this, I respect that. I can see that. Um, but yeah, I love Black Christmas. I love it. Oh, and the girl too, the first girl. Like they never discovered her. Or I think the house mother either. I don't think they discovered, because she ended up getting killed in the attic as well. So that poor corpse, that poor girl who's like dead with the plastic around her head. She's like still sitting, her lifeless body still like sitting upstairs in the rocking chair in the window. No one ever discovered her. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe she's still sitting in that attic, totally decayed. I don't know. And I know people are probably going to ask this too, if I've ever seen the remake, the horrendous remake, Black Xmas. I don't know if I've ever necessarily seen the entire thing, but I think I've seen a good bulk of it. From what I saw, it sucked. And that one was really made, like, I know we're still getting, once again, we're still getting a lot of remakes and everything, but that was really, kind of like, in the midst of all those remakes we were getting saturated with, almost, similar, to how the 80s were with horror movies, where it was just like, they just kept reeling out, horror movies and everything, some not so good, some actually pretty decent. I like to kind of like think of that as like the new 80s era was with like all the remakes. And I feel like hopefully, like I said, I know we're still getting remakes, but I feel like it's slowing down just a touch. So I feel like Hollywood has kind of slowed it down just a little bit, but I know we're still getting a lot. Hopefully it'll kind of like die soon, the whole remake thing. But anyway, like I said, I figured I'd just kind of briefly discuss the remake. Because like I said, I know people are gonna probably ask, like, well, have you ever seen the remake? Like I said, I've seen the majority of it, and I hated it, and I think that's probably why I didn't finish it or seen the entire thing, because I was like, it sucks. But anyway, so that's my little take. That's my, favoritist, horror, horror Christmas film. Sorry, brain fart. Like I said, I know there's a lot of other ones too that are Christmas themed horror movies, like Silent Night, Deadly Night, Krampus. There's a ton of them out there. Um, but but anyway, so like I said, that's just my little take on it. Like I said, someone, Le Corb Monster had recommended this idea for me, so figured go ahead and reply back to him. Um, so yeah, that's my little spiel on Black Christmas. If you guys have never checked this movie out, definitely check it out. Um, oh, and you know what? I gotta say too, just a little side note, because I was kind of thinking about this the other night when I was watching this. Just a little refresher. Plus, I was like, I need to start watching Christmas movies. Um, Now I know this came out before When a Stranger Calls, but I feel like, um, this movie does have a little bit of, a, I don't know if I want to say an inspiration of the, um, urban legend where it's like the babysitter is babysitting the kids and babysitter keeps getting the like phone calls, the obscene phone calls or whatever, and they find out that it's coming from inside the house. Like I said, I know this came out like 5 years before When a Stranger Calls, but I feel like it kind of does remind me of that movie a little bit because towards the end they do find out that the calls are coming from within the sorority house. So that's something I would like to know if other people kind of like make that connection or like think of When a Stranger Calls whenever they watch this original Black Christmas. So let me know what you guys think. But anyway, I'm gonna let you guys get going and enjoy your Thursday night. So I will see you guys around again, probably hopefully the next couple of days or so. Once again, thank you guys for checking me out, taking the time to check out my video and everything. Videos really. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and maybe give me a little comment. Till then, you guys, once again, thank you for checking me out. And as always, I am trying to keep up with all you guys who have been subscribing to me and everything. Got a lot of you guys on my who have subscribed to me, so I'm trying to keep up with all your videos and everything. So until next time, you guys, once again, thanks, and as always, I want you guys to stay creepy and classy.